Welcome to North Carolina Poetry Out Loud for the 2018-2019 school year. My name is Lauren Smith and I'm the state coordinator for Poetry Out Loud right here in North Carolina. This video is designed for teachers who have participated in Poetry Out Loud in the past and will note some of the changes and shifts that we are implementing for the upcoming school year. These changes are designed to streamline some administrative structures as well as to make the program as accessible as possible for students across the state. Now, let's get started. In this video, we will talk about some shifts in dates and deadlines. We will also talk about the addition of some information necessary for registration. This year, North Carolina Poetry Out Loud will shift from district competitions to county competitions, so we will talk about the rationale behind this change and how this will affect students, teachers, and those serving as county coordinators. Lastly, we will discuss some additional data tracking necessary for reporting to the National Endowment for the Arts and for future program planning. Many of the types of deadlines for this year's competition will be familiar from past years, but there are a few slight changes. The registration for this year's Poetry Out Loud program will open on August 13th, if not a little bit before. Registration will take place on a Google form, similar to last year's, and will be accessible through the Triad Stage website. As in previous years, the anthology will be available on www.poetryoutloud.org around Labor Day. The first change to note is that the registration deadline is about a month earlier than last year. There weren't many schools who registered in November of last year, and the later deadline made it more difficult to connect new teachers and schools with district coordinators. So this year, the date has moved. The hard deadline for registration will be Friday, November 2nd, 2018. All registrations for schools to participate must be received by the state coordinator by this date. The state competition this year will also be about 2 weeks earlier than in the past several years. The date for the state semifinals and finals will be Saturday, February 16th, 2019. Because of the possibility of inclement weather around this time of year, the makeup date for the competition, should it need to be canceled due to weather, will be the following week, Saturday, February 23rd. The national competition will take place in Washington, D.C. from April 29th to May 1st, 2019. A new addition to the reporting process this year, we will ask that all school lead teachers register their school winner with the state coordinator. This helps to track student participation at the state level, allows the state coordinator to better support county coordinators, and also aids in being able to recognize school winners with formal congratulatory letters. The deadline for submitting a school winner to the state coordinator will be Friday, January 11th. However, it's important to note that your county coordinator may need this information earlier for the purposes of coordinating the county competition. Registering school winners will also entail sending in some information and statistics about participation that are necessary for reporting to the NEA and for future program planning. As in previous years, all county coordinators will need to register the county winner with the state coordinator. The deadline for having this information on file is Friday, January 25th, 2019, and this is a harder deadline than the years past due to the earlier state competition date. As you know, in past years, the district competition has constituted the level before the state semifinals. This year, instead of using school district competitions, we will shift to county-wide competitions. For many of you, this won't change much, as you work at schools who are the only high schools or only participating high schools within your county. However, this will change things a bit for teachers working particularly in some of the larger metro areas of the state. Let's talk about the rationale for this change and its practicalities. The title of the person coordinating the competition past the school level will change from district to county coordinator. State semifinalists will be determined by county rather than by school district. Let's talk a little bit about the rationale behind this change. First, this shift makes the boundaries geographic rather than institutional, which is a bit more straightforward. Last year, there was some confusion regarding counties that have more than one public high school, and going by geographic boundaries will make it easier to connect schools who are in the same county so they can coordinate their next level competitions. Second, this shift clarifies participation for charter and private schools. In the past, charter and private schools have often functioned as their own district, which actually has perceived disadvantages for students in public, private, and charter schools. For larger public school districts, students faced steeper competition because of the greater number of participating schools in their districts. Additionally, private and charter school students faced obstacles at the state level because they had fewer opportunities to compete, often moving through only a classroom or a school competition before advancing to the state finals. We know that students who are able to compete more times before the state level tend to feel more confident in their recitations. Additionally, this shift opens a clear path to participation for homeschool students. As you know, any high school student in North Carolina is eligible to participate as long as they meet the other eligibility requirements noted by the national competition, and in the past, it has been difficult to connect homeschool students with schools who are able to incorporate them into school-level competitions. While we will continue to attempt to have homeschool students compete at a school level or with a homeschool cooperative, with the county competition model, they will also be able to join the county competition of the county where they reside if no other arrangement can be secured. The goal of this change is to make Poetry Out Loud more accessible to students across the state and to level the playing field as much as possible. While there will certainly be bumps in the road as we move forward with this switch, your patience is much appreciated. Let's talk a little bit about how county coordinators will be determined in this new system. District coordinators from previous years can become county coordinators. This is a straightforward solution if you live in a county whose school system is countywide. If you were a district coordinator last year and would like to remain in a similar role, you can easily step into a county coordinator role. If there is more than one interested person per county, or if there are multiple previous district coordinators in one county, it is possible to establish two co-coordinators. This model has worked well in the past in Mecklenburg County and in other areas, and it can be a great way to split up the labor of the position as well. If there are more than two people interested in serving as a county coordinator, we can arrange a conversation between the interested individuals and the state coordinator to make a determination of what will work best for the county. There will be a few changes to the registration process this year, so let's talk about those shifts. The biggest change this year is that only the lead teacher for a school will fill out the registration form, rather than requiring all classroom teachers who are participating to fill out the form. First of all, this eliminates a duplication of information from schools that already have a number of participating teachers. Second, it centralizes the information from each school so the state coordinator is aware of the accurate number of teachers who are participating on each campus. As a lead teacher, when you fill out the registration form this year, it will ask you to list the names and email addresses of all teachers you think will participate from your school. Obviously, we know that this information is likely to change from September through the end of the program, but having a general idea of teacher participation is very helpful for planning the state competition. It also allows the state-level staff to do a better job of making sure your campus has access to the correct amount of printed materials. While all teachers who are registered will continue to receive some of the Poetry Out Loud organizational information, the shift also helps to establish a consistent point of contact between the state coordinator and each participating campus through the lead teacher. Additionally, school lead teachers will be required to register their school winner with the state coordinator. This process will look very similar to registering a district winner from previous years. The student's information will be submitted on a Google form that the state coordinator will provide to lead teachers in November or December. This shift does a couple of things. First, it allows better tracking of participation at each campus on the state level. Second, when lead teachers register their school, so when their school level competition has concluded and the program is finished at the school level for the year, they will also be asked to include updated numbers for participating teachers and students. Having more accurate information to report to the National Endowment for the Arts is a necessity, and these numbers also allow the state coordinator to do a better job of planning for future competitions. Additionally, having access to school winners' names and contact information allows celebration of all school winners from the state level. We will be able to send congratulatory emails, letters, or certificates to all school champions. As previously mentioned, there is a need for more accurate reporting of participation data to the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation. Let's talk about the ways that the data tracking process will shift for this year. As previously mentioned, when lead teachers register their school to participate in the program, they will estimate the number of teachers and students they think will take part. These are not hard and fast numbers. Obviously, they will shift throughout the course of the program. However, approximate numbers are very helpful at the state level. When lead teachers submit their school winner to the state coordinator, they will also submit updated participation numbers for both teachers and students. Thank you in advance for your effort and support of this piece of making Poetry Out Loud even more successful in future years. Teachers are at the heart of Poetry Out Loud. This program is quite simply not possible without your hard work and dedication. Thank you for being a committed leader in the Poetry Out Loud program. You can always reach out to State Coordinator Lauren Smith with questions. In the meantime, best of luck with this year's Poetry Out Loud program.